As I can see from a lot of your comments on previous videos, the gaming community has finally cottoned on to no longer being pawns to appease publisher shareholders and are voting with their wallets. However, the big guns are always fighting back to fool you into paying full retail. And what better way to do so than by jangle some car keys in your face with worthless digital cosmetic crap and pointless additions that, in all fairness, should have been included on the disc to begin with. So, this episode, we have a butcher's at the very worst of these binary benefits, these algorithmic allowances, and these exponent endowments that publishers push in your face, as I say. But, hello you. I'm Guru Larry, and I welcome you to Fact Hunt. Top 5 utterly crap pre-order offers. Poor old Ubisoft. Assassin's Creed Unity was really the tipping point of when the franchise fell into the precipice of only slightly different Call of Duty-esque yearly sequels. And while it was nice they dipped their toe into multiplayer co-op for the first time, the sheer amount of negativity and, quite frankly, biased press they received about not being able to play as a bunch of triangles shaped like a woman scuppered any sort of excitement there was for the game coming up to launch. As you can imagine, pre-orders suffered. So what shiny digital trinket did Ubisoft peddle to the plebs in order to get them to buy the game at launch? A free season pass? The ability to digitally share the game with a friend to play the co-op? Nope. Trousers that make you run faster. Yep, Ubisoft's great incentive was to give you Go Faster pants, clothing that lets you beat the game slightly faster. Obviously, this offer was ridiculed in the press. Well, when they had a chance to stop endlessly whining about misplaced misogyny for a nanosecond. But luckily, Ubisoft managed to find a way to hide this embarrassing pre-order incentive by filling the game with nightmare-fueled glitches instead. Sonic Lost World was an odd kettle of fish. From early screenshots it looked to be a remake of the long-requested, unreleased Sonic Extreme. In fact, it actually looked like it was shaping up to be something good. So, once again the Sonic hype was in full anticipation for this new release. Could this possibly be the first decent 3D Sonic game we've all been hoping for? Of course not. No. What we got was a slightly disappointing Mario Galaxy knockoff full of characters no one cared about, ultimately receiving an average score of 63 out of 100. However, with all the hype surrounding this new Sonic game, Amazon struck a deal with Sega to include a pre-order offer exclusive to them. So, with the largest online retailer in the world, it's got to be something juicy to lure you away from those brick-and-mortar throwbacks, surely. 25 extra lives. Now, having lives is pretty much the appendix of the video game industry now, a relic from its arcade origins. But the most ludicrous thing here is, Sonic Lost World throws lives at you like there's no tomorrow anyway, so you can literally max out to 99 lives in less than 30 minutes of playing. So, unless you're completely crap at video games, it's a completely worthless incentive.
No!
2019 sort of is, but isn't remake of Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, was a soft reboot for the franchise after several years of dwindling sales. Modern Warfare boasted an all-new game engine, the return of popular characters, wanting to be more like Battlefield now, for some reason, and, of course, more mean-spirited shock levels to grab those precious "Think of the children" concerned mother headlines. Now, the Call of Duty series is no stranger to scummy pre-order incentives. You may remember the Black Ops 2 debacle from my pre-order scams video, where Activision essentially misled customers into thinking they were getting DLC of the Nuketown map to keep forever, but in fact just let you rent the map for one specific weekend.
I think it's completely unfair that such a large international company can treat members of the public like this, who've gone out and spent a lot of hard-earned money on a promise that was taken away from them.
So, as scummy as that was, somehow this pre-order is even worse than that. So, what did we get this time? An exclusive skin of one of the characters from Zombies? Early access to one of the higher tier weapons? Or another bloody remake of Nuketown? Nope, a double XP boost for 3 hours. Yup, not even a 48-hour boost as with previous Call of Duty pre-orders. Just 180 minutes of levelling up slightly quicker. And on top of that, one that still counts down while waiting for lobbies to fill up and the game to load. And God forbid you're unlucky enough to enter the code before realising there's a ridiculously large 37GB update patch you need to download. And as per usual online COD, you also need to use that code out of the box. Otherwise you spend those 3 hours having your arse handed to you from 12-year-olds with far better guns they endlessly grinded for as they live on the game. Thanks, Bobby! Dickhead. Duke Nukem, the franchise that keeps John St. John in perpetual employment,
Fucked up poohead.
has been one of the FPS flagstone franchises since the early 90s, with its first 3D iteration being re-released more times than a copy of Skyrim glued to a homing pigeon's arse. Now, with its development hell follow-up, Duke Nukem Forever, becoming the complete laughingstock of the industry for decades, developers Gearbox wanted to give away something extra nice as an incentive in hope of you buying a copy. Sorry, did I say extra nice? I meant incredibly crap. Duke Nukem Forever already contains several insultingly terrible pre-order offers. For example, depending on what store you pre-order the game from, you could have the honour of advertising said chain on a t-shirt you could wear in the game, which is a fantastic cosmetic item to wear in a first-person shooter that you can't wear in multiplayer, so no one can ever see the bloody thing. But Duke's big pre-order offer was you got to play the game an entire week early. Ooh. So what's wrong with that, Larry, I hear you ask? Well, what Gearbox didn't disclose was you actually got to play the demo of the game 7 days before anyone else. Yeah, a demo. You know, those things created to entice you into buying a game. A game you've already paid for. A blatant example of preaching to the choir with such an utterly pointless offer, if ever I did see one. Luckily, Gearbox learned from this embarrassing lesson and never lied to their customers ever again. Oh, for fuck. And, of course, I had to save the very best till last with EA and Pandemic's 2009 open world game, The Saboteur. It's a pretty decent sandbox title, where you play as an Irishman voiced by someone who's never heard an Irishman before.
Oh, he's not a motherless arse-faced knob jockey.
In occupied France during World War II. Now, as great as The Saboteur was, it was an EA game after all, so they had to completely ruin it for everyone somehow. And that's exactly what they did, making it part of their infamous Project $10 initiative. Now, this rather despicable tactic is something I'll be dedicating a future Fact Hunt special to. But those of you who have not heard of it before, Project's $10 was Electronic Arts' ultra-scummy attempt to dissuade the appeal of buying used games, which EA openly claimed as being worse than piracy. So to tackle this heresy of people wanting to buy games out of print or a bit cheaper, they would only allow you to play the multiplayer component of a game by entering the included game code. Anyone who bought the game used and wanted to play it online would be subjected to a, well, fine of $10 to access that part of the game. Yeah, and you thought their loot crates were bad. Anyhow, the problem with the Saboteur was it was single player only. It had no multiplayer mode to hold to ransom. So, what did EA do to entice you into pre-ordering the game? And more so buying a brand new copy?
Boom! Tits!
The Saboteur contains several brothels and speakeasies in the game, and EA thought the best way to find those skinflint gamers buying used copies was to cover up all the girls in them. Now, this financial censorship had absolutely zero effect on the gameplay itself whatsoever. But if you wanted to see all the digital ladies exposing their bristles in the game, you were going to have to cough up $10 for the privilege. That's a 3-month subscription on some adult sites. Not that I know anything about that. So, before EA's vice was misleading children into gambling with surprise mechanics, they were pimping out their female NPCs. I don't think we'll ever see what depths EA are prepared to go to. Well, aside from the fact, in true EA fashion, they closed down the Saboteur servers less than 2 years after launch, so no one could see boobies anymore, whether they had bought the game new or not. So, there's that. Hello, you. Thanks ever so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to be first to see future episodes. Click on the bell if you already are to remain notified, and be sure to check out my other videos. And if you want to be super awesome, check out my Patreon, where you can not only see videos up to a week early, but also completely ad and sponsorship free. But thanks ever so much again for watching, and I'll be seeing you next time. Ta-ra for now.